The Qur'an is a book that holds the secrets of creating the universe. It is the most memorized book on earth. This holy book, where Allah speaks to people, has an amazing story. But do we know this story of the Qur'an? How did it begin? What steps did it go through? And how was it made into a book and reached us today? From the first verse to the last, we now take a step together into the 23-year divine journey of the Qur'an. To learn the mystery behind this journey and the story that came to us. Now listen carefully before we start. We kindly ask you for one thing. We work very hard to make these videos and share them with you. We only ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video. If you are ready, let's begin. In the year 610 CE, in the month of Ramadan, on a Monday night, the night of Laylatul, it was the night when the Qur'an would be sent down from the hidden tablet Al-Mahfuz to the heavens, and from the heavens, the first verses would meet our Prophet Saul, Allah.ai wasallam. The 18,000 worlds and all the angels were waiting for this day. That night, prophethood would be given to our Prophet ﷺ. That night, Allah Awayel would speak to his servant. When Muhammad ﷺ was around 35 years old, he started going to the Cave of Hira on Mount Nur, about 6 kilometers away from Mecca, a place he learned about from his grandfather, Abd al-Mut. When he turned 38, he began spending half of their year in this cave. It is said, when Allah loves a servant, he makes the world bitter and ugly to him. Our Prophet had distanced himself from the world of his time, searching for something. Even the word Hira means search. In the 18,000 worlds, all angels formed a corridor like a red carpet from the sky to the earth, and the very Shaytan was stoned and driven away. The worlds were purified. After this corridor was prepared, Jibreel brought the revelation. That night, many stars fell from the sky. It was such an extraordinary night. Fativin, the Mushri, noticed it and felt something unusual was happening. The journey of the Qur'an began in the silence of Mecca's mountains, in the Cave of Hira, that silent cave. Suddenly, an extraordinary power was felt. The angel Jibreel appeared, filling the whole cave with divine light. Jibreel with a strong and shaking voice said, "Read, our Prophet Saul Allah.ai wasallam, surprised and frightened, replied, I do not know how to read." Then Gabriel held him tightly, so strongly that he felt the full weight of the command. This scene happened 3 times, and finally the blessed verses came. Read in the name of your Lord, who created man from a cloud. Read, and your Lord is the most generous, who taught by the pen taught man what he did not know. Surah Alaq 961-5. Our Prophet ﷺ, overwhelmed by the revelation, ran out of Hira and started rushing home. On his way home, whichever tree, stone, or animal he passed by, he heard them say Salua. Music. His state of shock and faintness grew stronger. When he looked up to the sky, he saw Jibreel in his true form for the first time. The second would be during the Mirage miracle. Terrified, he entered his home and cried out, Zamuni, Zamuni, cover me, cover me. Our mother Khadija quickly covered him and tried to calm him. When he felt calmer, he told her what had happened. Khadija reminded him of his honesty, kindness, and hospitality, and said, Allah will never leave you alone, will never shame you. After some time, Jibreel came again and recited the first 5 verses of Surah Mudda. O you who are wrapped up, stand up and warn. After this verse came, our mother Khadija took the Prophet ﷺ to her cousin, the greatest scholar of his time, who followed the Hanif religion and knew the Tawrat and Waraqah bin Nawfal. When the Prophet ﷺ started telling what had happened, Waraqah's face turned red. Then he straightened up and stood. When the Prophet finished speaking, Waraqah said with tears in his eyes, "Good news, Toyo, O Muhammad. The one who came to you is the Namu al-Akbar. It is the Samajir al-Amin who came to Musa and Isa." Then he added, "O Muhammad, if I live to see the days when your people and your tribe oppress you, torture you, and exile you, I will stand by you and support you." The Prophet, surprised by this, asked, "My friends, my family, my people, will they oppress me? Will they torture me?" Waraqah replied, "Yes, every prophet is oppressed and torturate his own people and tribe. You will also face this." At that moment, the Prophet Wasam began to accept and prepare himself for everything that would happen to him for the sake of this blessed mission. He now knew that the message given to him would not only affect his own life but guide the destiny of all humanity. The command read, "In the name of your Lord who created," announced the beginning of a new, like a light rising from the darkness. These verses would enlighten hearts with knowledge and faith, reminding people of the greatness of Allah, the meaning of servanthood, and the wisdom of creation. With that one sentence, the bridge between the heavens and the earth was rebuilt, and by choosing a messenger who could not read or write, Allah showed the whole world that the power of the Qur'an comes not from man but from his Lord. That first revelation was the beginning of a call. That night was the first step in a journey that would last 23 years, a journey that would prepare the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam for the hardest trials and gift humanity with an eternal guide. This was the beginning of the last divine message to humanity. The Quran was not revealed all at once, but part by part over 23 years. And there was deep divine wisdom in this because each verse and each surah was revealed as a direct answer to the needs, questions and events of the time. Each new verse made it easier to understand and immediately apply in daily life for the new Muslim community. This method was a great mercy. The verses taught the believers, improved their character, strengthened their faith, and step by step rebuilt the social order. Prayers, fasting, zakah, and hajj were not made obligatory all at once, but slowly preparing people's hearts and minds. It was not easy to leave the habits of Jahiliyyah, but with the mercy of our Lord, the verses softened hearts and prepared people. Each revelation also gave moral support to the messenger, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, strengthened his heart, especially during the hard years in Mecca. The stories of earlier prophets were told to give him patience and hope. Allah often said to him, "Be patient, the help of Allah is near." The first 3 years of the call were a period of secret invitation, without drawing the attention of the mushrik. The Prophet secretly invited people to Islam. He started with his closest family and friends, those who never doubted the greatness of the Prophet, his noble character, and the truth of his message. Known in Islamic history as the firsts or the pioneers, accepted his call immediately. At the head of these were his wife, our mother Khadijah, his servant Zayd bin Hira, his cousin Ali, and his close friend Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr began working hard to invite others to Islam. After the first 2 revelations, more verses continued to come day by day or at intervals. People began to enter Islam in groups. Finally, the name of Islam spread in Mecca and was spoken about everywhere. These first Muslims had become Muslim in secret. The Prophet would meet with them secretly and guide them. Although the Quran was revealed in parts, the verses showed perfect beauty and harmony between them and the surahs. The revelations from Jibreel were written down by scribes and also memorized. They carefully wrote them on boards and parchment. The Holy Quran was accepted as the greatest miracle given to Muhammad. Its rhyme and structure, despite changing themes and content, were unique and could not be imitated. In the early years of Islam, prayer was performed as 2 rak'ahs in the morning and 2 rak'ahs in the evening. Even though the call was secret, this news reached the Quraysh, but the Quraysh did not react strongly at first. Instead, they began to pressure those of their own family who chose Islam. The 3-year secret invitation ended when a verse commanded an open call. The Prophet first invited the Banu Hashim. Abu Talib supported him, but Abu Lahab criticized him. The Prophet climbed Safa Hill and warned his people in groups, but the idol worshippers rejected the message of Allah, who has power over everything. The commands given to the Prophet included many new rules that questioned the existing social order. Free and enslaved people should be equal. Women should have more rights, including inheritance. Equality was declared as the highest command, no matter the age, social status, or skin color of a person. This equality even extended to all of Allah's creatures. Even camels should not be overloaded. Women's rights, children's rights, animal rights, slaves' rights. We are talking about the 7th century. These were something extraordinary for the whole world. Of course, people were shocked and could not believe what they had. At the center of these commands was worshipping the one true Allah and ending idol worship. These rules especially disturbed Mecca's rich merchants because they threatened their business interests. The idols brought them income by attracting pilgrims, and they were not willing to give up slave trade and their traditions. Those who were determined to hold on tightly to their old beliefs stood against Muhammad's growing followers. They started using violence and torturing him and his followers to suppress his mission. Even so, the number of the Prophet's followers kept increasing. Everyone who said Allah wa Ashuhamdan Rasul, Allah joined Islam. This religion, which focused on submitting and surrendering to Allah's will, brought great tension and hostility. In Mecca was of daily conflicts and rising pressure, but the believers did not give up. They did